Heroes and Legends War of Bill Rivals 2, Episode 11. The forces of Androsica, led by Solus, Thinker, and Flash, were once again together, along with Horatio and Pola, who wanted vengeance for the fall of Arcadian forces and allies, fought off against the Urker Essene army, and they're fighting for keeps. The combined forces of these officers and heroes of Androsica overwhelmed and overpowered the Essene forces and the Urker forces with their mechs and tanks. They did not expect the Androsican to fight with such ferocity. They underestimated them as they thought they would be exhausted by constant fighting after all this time. But still, the determination was still there and is able to push them back. And with this, the forces of Androsica won the day in this instance. In another place, the forces of the Billdaron, led by Formis, Bethel, and Law, the leaders of the Bipple, Batelacon, and Zephyr, were once again reunited to face off against the Federation of the Flower, along with Marshy and the twin Baldamaldin. It was growing clear to the Billdaron friends that the Wilsons were trying to use this war to empower themselves, to replace their flaws as heads of the family as Darius, and they was using Darius to do so, because how the Wilsons fought, their orders, and their ways of battle were being clearly displayed, and the forces of Androsica and even the Federation of Flower were loyal strictly to the flaws, were following down the Wilsons' rules and regulations and orders to the T. The Wilsons wanted to use this war to replace the Floor name and establish the Wilson as the most dominant force in the universe. Formus, who was jealous of Darius because of Akari, even felt disgusted and sorry for the state that Androsica was in. Bethel, who faced Darius and saw his power, knew that he was indeed the last great LaFleur, and any descendant he would have would be of the Wilsons. And she knew that Androsica, the old Androsica, that they allied themselves with, to beat back the forces of evil during the Great War and the Temple of Sumatra, that Androsica was gone. And Androsica, after that, would be something which no one would recognize. And Laura wanted to beat and destroy this Wilson Androsica in order to win Sheen to her side once and for all. So they cleared the way against Marshy and Marvin and defeated the likes of Andy and Zazzle, respectively. And with this, the Androsican forces were defeated and they were forced to retreat back to Androsica. Using this momentum, they began to make their preparations for a final confrontation with the main leaders of Androsica. While this was happening, the forces of Androsica, led by Duval, with the help of Darling and Dr. Annie LaFleur, were fighting against the Billdaron army, who were attempting to attack Androsica from the rear. Duval found that he used his full strength, and proved that they did not waste their time and efforts rescuing him. They would prove his loyalty and beat back the Billdaron forces, led by the Batalkan Bashar commander, Sakita, along with her deputy Gali, and the Selton Bashar fighter, Julian. Duval raced ahead the battlefield to beat back the forces, and Darling using her fists and wrestling moves, accompanied and watched Duval's back. She was impressed by this young warrior and his love and determination for Androsica, but she did not want to be showing up. Still, they fought hard and long against the forces of Sakir, who wanted to have a secure and swift victory for the Batalkan and the Billdaron forces as a whole, seeing that they were pushed back from Androsica before because of Darius. She knew that this was their last chance and opportunity to strike the heart of Androsica before it was too late. And so Gali toughened up and decided not to be afraid and went straight for Dr. Anne. But Dr. Anne's power and might and battle experience were too much for the young Gali, and so Gali had to retreat. And then Andrian faced Duval and challenged him to a duel. Duval accepted the Salton warriors' challenge. Both officers, despite being new to war, and this war was their first, the two seemed evenly matched, but Duval was more determined to win this battle than Andrian was, and so she was defeated. And lastly, Darling defeated the commander Sekanda, forcing the Batalkan Salton army to retreat. And with that, the Billdaron and Androsian forces were officially in a stalemate. No one could seem to lay the finishing, crippling blow to the other. And so, one more unique and decisive battle between the main leaders of both Billdaron and Androsica was soon at hand.